Hello, this is the Wednesday weekly learning session. My name is Carlos Navi. I do this every Wednesday for a local bartending school. Do it at 3 p.m. Pacific time, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Try to come up with a different topic every week and talk about some different things. So we do have, of course, Halloween coming up this Sunday. So we will talk about some Halloween drinks. It's a little bit about Halloween here today. But a couple of the things I want to talk about. I just found this out driving home, so it really has nothing actually to do with anything I had planned to talk about today, but it is National Domestic Beer Day. So if you're gonna have a beer today, pick your favorite national domestic beer, even if it's just a Bud Light or Miller Lite or Coors Light, and have yourself a domestic beer here on National Domestic Beer Day. So I thought I'd throw that out there. I heard that on the radio actually driving home here just now. I feel like every week I talk about the ready to drink cocktails because I honestly see a new one every week in the store. I don't think it detracts from bars. I think it's actually a very good thing. And what the rise of the ready to drink cocktails has led to, as far as us being bartenders and working in the bar, is the ability now to do batch cocktails. A lot of states have amended their laws about, what you can sell to go as far as alcohol. I know California has definitely amended their laws a lot on, what you can sell to go as far as alcohol is concerned. So if you live in a state where you are allowed to sell pre-batch cocktails, it can be a great way to make money for the bar and to make money for you. Because all you have to do is hand someone a jug and you're still going to get your 20% tip off of it. When it comes to doing pre-batch cocktails, and basically you give it to them in a jug, some sort of sealed container, they take it home, they put a glass of ice, they just pour it on top, bam, they're ready to go. It's ready to drink just like that. But you get the experience, and the taste of having a real bar cocktail instead of one that's, comes in a can, is mass produced. At least that's actually mixed by a bartender. A couple things to remember if you are going to do batch cocktails. Number one, make sure you test it first before you make a big batch. Make it on a small scale, test it out, make sure you're getting the end result taste you want before you try to turn it into a big batch. Along with that, write down the recipe. When you do it on a small scale to first try it out to see if you're going to get the taste you're looking for, make sure you're writing it down. Don't just commit it to memory. Write it down so you make sure you get it right every time. You get the exact measurements so you're getting that right taste replicated every time instead of just winging it. The other thing is once I've got it written down, I want to make sure that I'm doing the math correctly as far as I want to make, 5 times this, I want to make 10 times this, that I am doing the correct math. So I am putting in the proper portions of, what I want to put in there to get that end result taste in my cocktail. The other thing to make sure, as I do this math and I set it up to make, 10 of this or 20 of this and start doing the math, make sure that you have a large enough container to put it in. Hey, we want to do this 10 times. Okay. Do we have something big enough to hold 10 times of this? So make sure that when you're doing the math, you're figuring out, you are appropriating for, whatever kind of containers you're going to be putting it into, if it's a pre-batch cocktail that you're just serving, at the restaurant, or if it's something you're giving someone in a jug to take home. I've seen pre-batch cocktails at restaurants. It's not a new thing. I was watching something during Tales of the Cocktail this year. They were talking about a lot of businesses, pre-batching cocktails, putting them into kegs and then just pouring them out of the taps, just like beer. I was trying to think of where I've seen that before, and I remembered. There's a very, very popular Mexican restaurant where I grew up in Palm Springs, California, called Las Cazuelas Terraza that I worked at for a period of time. For their house margarita, it's all pre-mixed in the back. There's this big giant vat. It comes through guns to their main bar. And when you order a house margarita, they salt the rim, they put ice in there, they just take the gun and pour it into the cup and they're done. And that's it. And they make different batches and they put it in there. They do clean it out from time to time and keep it nice. They don't just keep adding stuff to this giant thing. They have a system for doing it. But yeah, that's the way they did it because they sold so many margaritas, they didn't want to make them from scratch. Now, if you ordered a top shelf margarita and you wanted to pay that kind of money, that's a whole different story. They'd make you a fresh one, but just regular house margarita that came that way. When I worked down in Mexico too, we kind of did the same thing as well. As far as we just pre-batch a large portion of margarita and put it into a Gatorade cooler. the same type of thing that you'd see on the sidelines at a football game or a sporting event or something like that. And once again, people came in because we give out tickets for free house margaritas. We weren't trying to make them great or put a lot of expensive booze into them. We are just trying to get people in the door so they have a good time, spend more money. People come up with their ticket, rim the glass, throw some ice in there, fill it up from the Gatorade tub. That's your house margarita right there. That would be pre-batched. So, the trend of the ready to drink and pre-batch cocktails does extend to the bar, and this growing trend can create a growing trend for that in the bar as well. So be aware of it, have some fun with it if you can. It's a great way to sell some drinks to go and some liquor to go. Get some water real quick. I talk about a place I worked at here a lot called the Madonna Inn. It is very cool. Eclectic is the word we use. It's a very weird, very pink place, but they have a very nice steakhouse. It was my wife's birthday on Monday, so we did go out there, had a really nice time. Cool to experience and kind of had a fun tour experience. It's fun, kind of funny. We, played tourist for a couple of days. We wake up today like we've been out of town. We have not left our town in 3 days, but we had some fun tourist experience over there. I did notice their prices have gone up, which didn't bother me. It's the type of place once you go out there, you've already decided I'm going to spend a bunch of money. It's not a big deal. But steak and lobster up to $110 now, which was kind of pricey, but expected to pay it. Not a big deal, but very cool place. We had a fun time there. They had, and I forgot this, that every Monday night they have kids that come out from the college here that I live next to called the Slow Rug Cutters, and they swing dance and they have a good time. And it's cool to see, 20-year-olds out there swing dance with this old timey music in this old timey place. But I happened to notice, and at first we were kind of thrown off by it, but then we realized, oh, it's Halloween week. So this is basically their Halloween party, because next Sunday will be Halloween. They will not have another Slow Rug Cutters Monday night until then. So there were people already out in costume for Halloween on Monday, and I think that was awesome. So, if you're out in the bar, you're working, this weekend, you're working for Halloween, expect to see people out all weekend, not just Saturday in costume. They're probably going to have a lot of costume parties and a lot of other things going on this entire weekend where people will be dressed up. So do not be surprised if you see people in costume all weekend long. I heard on the radio that more than 60% of American adults dressed up for Halloween last year. And I feel bad because I didn't think about it till today. So I didn't dress up for Halloween for the Halloween lesson. And I feel kind of silly that I didn't, because I didn't think about it till earlier today. I should have tried to throw something together. But yeah, more than 60% of Americans dressed up for Halloween last year in the pandemic. So, that number is probably going to be greater this year. We're going to have a lot of people out having a good time in costume, having some fun. That's remember that it is kind of one of those rookie nights. And I say this about certain holidays, New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day being the biggest two. It's the type of nights where people that don't drink often go out and probably have too much. They drink like they do drink often. So it is a night where you really got to be aware. You really got to be careful, especially out there driving, come home from work and stuff like that. Just realize that a lot of the people out there in costume are people that have a drink once in a while, not someone that goes out and has a drink every night and can handle it. So know those people out there, know it's a rookie night. Everybody wants to have fun, but we don't want to get anybody hurt. We don't want to have any problems. That's not what it's about. It's about everybody having a good time. So, when it comes into doing Halloween drinks and having some fun, and we're going to go through some recipes here and make some fake cocktails here with some colored water that I got here. But one of the fun things you can do, and I've done this in a couple places now, is put dry ice into cocktails and then they smoke. And it makes them look very cool, and it's a very, very fun trick. I know that, like where I live in grocery stores, they sell dry ice. They sell it in small pellets instead of just large bricks. So you get small pellets to where you can just put a small pellet in the drink, and then it smokes like that. It looks very, very cool, and it is great for Halloween. So I have worked with them before and never had an issue with it's kind of jumping out of itself. There's two kind of points of caution if you're working with dry ice. The first one is you're not supposed to touch dry ice with your hands. It can freeze your skin very quickly and give you frostbite. So you should be wearing gloves or using your tongs to touch the dry ice. Now, that being said, Knowing that I wasn't supposed to, the first opportunity I had to work with it, the first thing I did was grab it with my bare fingers to see what would happen, because yes, I am that kid. Nothing happened. As it turns out, you can touch it with your skin, but only for a very short time. So you could grab it and stick it in a drink, and it's not going to freeze your fingers, give you frostbite. After about 5-10 seconds, yeah, now you may be risking harm to your actual skin. So I suggest use the tongs. One thing that will happen, fair warning, doing it with your fingers, you grab that little nugget, you go to throw it in, and it already freezes to one finger and you can't get it off. And then you start to worry it's going to be there too long. So use the tongs. Just use the tongs if you are making stuff with dry ice. I worked at a place in California that put dry ice in their martinis every day, and I never saw anyone have the second kind of thing that was brought up to me. I've seen a bunch of the glasses come back. Usually it just kind of clumps itself down to the bottom of the glass that people can drink it without it really interrupting their cocktail. But heard a couple of years ago, I did some research and found out this is a problem for some people, that you don't want anyone to swallow the dry ice or eat the dry ice. You don't want any swallow it, just out like it can be harmful touching my fingers. It can be very harmful touching the insides of your body, even more harmful. So you want to make sure that no one's eating it, and it's not getting in their way, and no one's swallowing in their cocktail. So they have some very cool things out there, and it's not too late, I don't think, to get Amazon to deliver you something like this guy here. What this is a swizzle stick with a little compartment at the end that you put the pellet of dry ice in. So I can put the pellet of it in there. I can drop the whole thing into the drink. It smokes, and then we don't have to worry about anybody choking on it or swallowing the dry ice. You can wash it, throw it in the dishwasher, reuse it again. And it looks kind of cool still, because it still has that, it's still going to smoke, and it just looks like a swizzle stick sticking in your drinks. The other one is basically little ice kind of capsules like this. So you just drop it into the drink like an ice cube or anything else with a little pellet of dry ice in there. Once again, the water hits it, the dry ice smokes, it creates a very, very cool effect. I did not want to spring to get dry ice here for my house. It is quite expensive, just to goof off. So I don't have any here, but a cool effect, really fun. If you want to have some fun with some Halloween drinks, get some dry ice. It just makes them look cool, makes them look mysterious, makes them look like something out of a Disney movie. So you can have some fun with there. Just be careful if you are going to work with the, dry ice. So I'm gonna grab some water here real quick. So talk about Halloween cocktails and, stuff that sounds Halloweeny, stuff that sounds fun, stuff you want to put out there. First thing that comes to mind for me is a zombie. And I know we have the recipe for zombie in there, which I'm actually going to do here in just a second. But, zombie was not created as a Halloween drink. It's not meant to be a spooky drink. It was actually a tiki bar drink. So it's a tiki cocktail. And I've talked a little bit about these two guys, Trader Vic's in Oakland and Donna Beachcomber, two tiki bars, Donna Beachcomber in Hollywood. They were kind of the two big bars that, got this tiki movement going and got tiki bars very popular, and the tiki culture very popular here in the United States, or on the mainland, I should say. I talked about the Mai Tai, so I talked a little bit about them, and that's, the famed invention of Trader Vic. So Donna Beachcomber invented the zombie in 1934 at his bar in Hollywood, and it was meant to be a strong drink. It was meant to be a good kind of tiki run cocktail. So, they kind of tweaked it, and even he kind of tweaked and changed the recipe over the course of years. But the original one, Jamaican rum, Puerto Rican rum, 151, Pernod Anise is a black licorice flavored liqueur. We see a lot of different black licorice flavored liqueurs, or anise, which is the root that's used to flavor black licorice, and anise root. And I think it's just because it was readily available. It was something easy to get to flavor liquor with. The anise root was readily available in many places. You also see Sambuca, Ouzo, same type of thing. You just see straight anise. Pernod is just a brand. So some anise, lime juice. This one I had to look up, Farallum, which is sort of like a syrup made with ginger, lime, almonds, and allspice. So just like the orgeat syrup is that almond syrup that we use to make a real Mai Tai, this is kind of more of a juiced up version of that. So it has a little bit of nut flavor, but it also has some ginger and some other spices in there to give it a little bit more flavor. Grenadine, bitters, and Dawn's Mix, which Dawn's Mix is basically cinnamon simple syrup. So put all that stuff in there, pick it out, mix it up, strain it into a rocks glass, a little mint spirit on top, and that is your real true zombie version, the way that it was done. It is rumored that because it's very strong, it has a lot of rum. It is rumored that you were only allowed to have two, and he wouldn't serve anybody any more than that, or as he was quoted for saying, they may turn into The Walking Dead. So it can definitely make someone catatonic, make someone a zombie. So, the real recipe, how it was done back then, is a little more complicated, has a little more to it. But if we look at just the recipe that we have in the local bartending school book, this is pretty good and can be done in most bars. So if I want to go ahead and do this, let me get all my stuff set up here. I'm going to go ahead and do my zombie. I'm going to go ahead and grab a big glass like this. I'm going to get my ice and fill it up with ice. All right, so first thing we do is 1/2 ounce of apricot brandy. So that's going to be pretty clear. It might have a little bit of a yellow hue to it. So I'm going to find something clear to do that. So we'll give a 1/2 ounce, 1, 2 of that, throw that in there. That's actually my light rum bottle too. We're going to do us a full ounce of white rum, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to dump that in there like that. Then we're going to do an ounce of dark rum. So I think I've got something dark. This will resemble dark rum. And dump that in there like that. Now we want to go ahead and put 1 ounce of fresh lime juice in there. So I'm going to grab my cutting board. I'm going to grab some fruit over here. So when I'm cutting stuff in half to put it into one of these squeezers like I have right here, it's a good trick just to take the nubs off, the little ends off right there. And we'll see why in just a second here. When I then cut it in half to put it here in my squeezer, it's kind of a big lime. Let's see if I can get it down in there. There we go. If I leave that little nub on top, sometimes this part will hit that nub and fold the piece of fruit in half, and you really don't get a solid, good squeeze at it. You just get the fruit folded. So taking that little nub off just gives me a flat surface here to push that down on. Boom, get my fresh lime juice in there like that. And as a general guideline, and I know some lemons are bigger than others, some limes are smaller and bigger than others, but I have done a practical field test. And 1/2 lemon, 1/2 lime is about 1/2 ounce of juice. So I'm going to put a whole one in there so that I get a whole ounce of lime juice just like that. Here. So next thing I need is some orange juice, which I have here. I'm just going to put a little bit of orange juice in there like that. And a couple drops of grenadine. In there like that. Go ahead and grab my spoon if I can find it. And I want some in here. I'm going to give this a nice little stir, get that nice and mixed up like that. Get everything together. I'm going to come back and top it off with some 151. Just a circular motion like that to top it off. We're going to go ahead and give it its straw. Cut me a nice piece of orange here. And please, if you're cutting fruit, take the labels off. Don't cut through the labels. Cut myself a nice slice of orange here to put on there. A nice little garnish like this. And probably a cherry, throw it in there. Just like that. And we have our zombie cocktail all ready to go here for Halloween. I wouldn't recommend more than 2. It probably will make you like a zombie, make you into The Walking Dead, but not too hard to do. If you didn't have apricot brandy in a pinch, I guess I could do peach schnapps. Similar flavor palette, kind of similar there. I don't think anybody would really notice or make a big deal about it, but you get kind of a weird, nice zombie-ish color. So that's a great drink right there for Halloween. Very awesome, very strong, a lot of rum, fruit juicy, tiki, kind of paradisey. It makes you think of the islands more than Halloween, but great, great Halloween name. Some other ones that I kind of came across. I saw a couple that said Witch's Brew, which I guess would be a pretty popular, title to give a drink coming into Halloween. So I picked a couple of them that I liked. This one I thought was really good. Equal parts, ounce and a half of Midori, an ounce and a half of orange liqueur, like our Cointreau or something like that here, triple sec, ounce of fresh lemon juice. Shake that up, strain it over ice, put a little cherry garnish on it. And if you wanted to throw, some dry ice into that one as well, bam, you get something that looks like that. You can put it over a single big rock if you wanted to do it, or just strained into onto rocks like that. A little bit of dry ice makes it look very cool, has a very cool effect for that, which is Brew. Let's close that down. Some of the other ones here. Vampire Kiss. I like this one a lot as well. Ounce and a half of vodka, Chambord, lemon juice, grenadine, and cranberry juice. And I think I've got a picture of this too. No. Sorry, that's the same picture. See if I have this picture of this. But it comes out with a cool red color. I believe this is it here. Something like that. Vampire Kiss, Chambord, lemon juice, grenadine, and you put some cranberry juice, top it off. They put it in a beaker with a spider straw, which is very cool looking, very nice for Halloween, but cool kind of blood red color, that it has there makes it a very cool cocktail. I'll close some of these windows. All right. Now let's do another one. This one I liked for a long time. It was taught to me when I went to bartending school by my, bartending instructor who was from New Jersey. Said this was a very popular drink in New Jersey. It took me, 20 years to make the association that the hockey team in New Jersey is the Devils and the drink is called a Red Devil. Why wouldn't it be popular in New Jersey? It's the name of their hockey team. So it can be made as a cocktail on the rocks, but I'm actually going to do it here as a shot because I like doing it that way. And I've gotten great response. I still get people every once in a while that will call me or text me from Florida asking when I'm coming back to make them Red Devil shots, because apparently no one else knows how to make Red Devil shots. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my mixing tin up with some ice here. Now, the way I remember it and the key to remembering it is it's a kamikaze combined with an Alabama Slammer. So our kamikaze vodka, roses, lime juice, triple sec, and our Alabama Slammer, slow gin, Southern Comfort, amaretto, and orange juice. So we put them all together in here. Grab my jigger here, and I'm just going to do a half ounce of each. So we do a half ounce of vodka. Something else clear. This can be my triple sec. I do a half ounce of triple sec. All right, have a little homemade roses lime juice here, just some sweetened lime juice. Put a half ounce of that in there. All right, this looks similar to Southern Comfort. We'll do a half ounce of that. That's about what amaretto looks like. We'll do a half ounce of that. Now, sloe gin, spelled S-L-O-E, is made from a berry called the sloe berry. So it's similar to a black raspberry or black currant. That's kind of the flavor it has. This kind of has a pale purple. Depending on the brand, some brands are redder than others. Some brands are more of a pale purple. So I'm going to throw a half ounce of that in there as well. But if I'm not really getting the red color I like, I will go ahead and put a little dash of grenadine in there. It's just making it redder. It's just kind of giving it a little bit more flavor. It's not going to hurt the drink. It's not going to make any difference in the end taste. I just want it to be red. It's a Red Devil. I'm going to come back with about half an ounce of orange juice here as well on top of it, just like that. And I grab a glass, I pop it in there, and we shake it. We can do this one. Either way, just remember, I don't want to do it towards the customer. If it slips out of my hand, I want to make sure that it's behind the bar, it's not flying across the bar and hit anybody. So have a smile, give it a nice big shake. I'm going to go ahead and grab my shot glass here like that. A nice strain. And the end result is you end up with something that kind of looks and tastes like fruit punch. And that's what it ends up tasting like. It's just red. It's got a fruit punch taste to it. When you combine the two, it's kind of amazing that it really doesn't taste like that much. But that's what happens. Tastes like Hawaiian punch, looks like Hawaiian punch. So people like it. It's easy. When they see you putting that many things in the mixing tin, a lot of people will kind of freak out and start to go, oh, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. The only thing that's full strength in there is the vodka. the Rose's lime juice has no alcohol. You know, all the other ones are liqueurs. They're 15, 20%. They're not that strong. So it really ends up being not that strong a drink in the end when you do it. So you can have some fun, do some Red Devil shots, line them up, do them in a row, get people going on that. Great, great one for Halloween there. Other ones to talk about. Now, I saw this one the other day too, and kind of brought it up when we were talking about popular drinks and what's popular in 2021, this still being one of the popular cocktails that people like in 2021, called the Corpse Reviver. And yes, the idea it can bring someone back from the dead, being the colorful name of it right there. So we're going to do our Corpse Reviver. We're going to do it up like this in a nice glass like that. Since I don't have a chilled glass because I do not have a refrigerator out here in my tiki bar, I'll go ahead and put some ice in there. I'm going to put a little bit of water in there. And we're just going to set that off to the side. And we're going to let that glass chill. And it can go ahead and hang out and chill while I'm making my drink. So shake this stuff out with this. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to grab some ice again. And I'm going to start off with an ounce of gin. So give me something clear here. We'll dump that in there. Then I'm going to do an ounce of fresh lemon juice here. Which one is going to work? Let's try it. Take my peel off, even though I'm not serving it to anyone. I really don't need a peel in there. I'm going to take the ends off like I did there with those limes. Cut this in half. And see if I can get this guy in there. Might be too big. There we go. Need a bigger squeezer. That should probably work now. There we go. Once again, we're going to do an ounce just like I did with the limes. So I'm going to do the other half and get the full thing in here. There we go. Boom, just like that. Got my fresh lemon juice. Come back with an ounce of orange liqueur like Cointreau that I have here, or my fake Cointreau that I have here. An ounce of that. And then we're just going to do a little bit like a bar spoon of absinthe. So if you guys aren't familiar with absinthe, it has kind of a storied history. It was banned in the United States for a long time. They just lifted the ban on real absinthe in 2007 in the United States. It has an ingredient in it, has a ingredient that they use in it called wormwood. So that was the banned ingredient. So you can get real absinthe now. They do sell the real stuff in stores. It's a little pricey, but if you are going to buy it, just make sure you're getting stuff absinthe that has real wormwood. It should say with real wormwood on it. So here's the deal about absinthe. I take a glass. I take what they call an absinthe spoon. So they make a flat spoon with holes in it. You take the flat spoon, you put it over the glass. You put a sugar cube on the spoon. You take your shot of absinthe and you pour it over the sugar cube and it dissolves and it turns green. You take the spoon off, you drink it, and you're supposed to hallucinate. Now, I have done it. I did not see anything. My roommate definitely got drunk, though. It's not that we didn't get drunk. It definitely worked in that fashion. But, it was thought to make people crazy and make people do crazy things, which is why it was banned for such a long time. It is the choice of, let's say, very creative yet not so stable people. So Ernest Hemingway was a fan, and there's actually a drink here that he invented himself. Edgar Allan Poe was a fan. Van Gogh was a fan, Vincent Van Gogh. So, because of some of those crazy stories associated with those folks, they thought it made people crazy. They banned it. You can get real absinthe now. So I'm just going to do a bar spoon of some green stuff I have here that resembles absinthe. And we're going to throw it in there like that. Again, I'm going to grab my pint glass, give it a good shake. Get that nice and mixed up, diluted and cooled out. Off here. Throw out my water. Shake some of the water out of the glass. Strain it in. A little shake, and a little more always comes out. That happens sometimes. So, you know what? We'll give this one a nice orange twist to go on there. Just like that. So we're gonna do our twist all the way around. Squeeze it in there, drop it in there like that. And bam, we have our corpse reviver, ready to bring you back from the dead and keep the party going. So that was an awesome one right there. Great one to do, easy one to do if you have the ingredients at your bar. The other one I was just talking about that is accredited to Ernest Hemingway is called Death in the Afternoon. And very simply, if you took a coupe glass, which is, kind of like a martini glass, it's a stemmed glass, but it's round, kind of like a little bowl. I took my coupe glass and just put an ounce of absinthe and an ounce of simple syrup in there, and then filled it with champagne. We have Death in the Afternoon. And yeah, if you're drinking absinthe and champagne early, it is going to be an early night for you. You may be dead by early afternoon. And that happens to all of us sometimes. So we're going to put our corpse reviver over here and let it settle there and let it hang out and relax. See what else we can come up with. So there's another one on here I want to try. So another witch's brew I found, and I think it's a little similar to something I kind of did a couple years back at the Cambria Pines Lodge at a hotel here, and we did have dry ice, and we were having a lot of fun. We were having a good time with it that night. Vodka, lime juice, like Rose's lime juice, and raspberry liqueur. And I'll show you the shot they put here. Oh, there's a train. Hope that's not bad. And they did this one as a. Let me get it up here. Let me get the picture up. There it is. There's not. There it is. They did this one as a shot, and I kind of like this. This is really similar to Purple Hooter, which is, vodka, raspberry liqueur, sweet and sour mix. It's just citrus, sugar, and water. They're using lime juice or Rose's lime juice in this one to do it. Makes a cool purple shot, makes a cool purple color. What they kind of did, and I don't know how easy it is to see in this picture, was though they gave it a purple sugar rim. And it's real easy to get, not necessarily fine sugar like they have here, but to get a little bit of large grain sugar or any sugar that you want to use and turn it different colors. Madonna Inn, which I just talked about, they make a specialty pink drink cocktail that's a frozen cocktail. It comes with whipped cream on the top, but then it's also topped with large grain. Ooh, don't fall over on my umbrella. It's also topped with large grain pink sugar, which is, sorry, my umbrella is blowing in the wind, which is just large grain sugar that people roll in grenadine, and it makes it pink, and they sprinkle it on top, and that's all it is. So you can very easily take some sugar, mix it with food coloring to make it purple like they did for that drink. 1 drop of blue, 1 drop of red. Now I have purple. Mix it around. You've got some purple sugar. Rim your glass with a lime. Put it in there, get the purple sugar on there, and you can make some very cool looking shots with some different colored sugared rims on them. This one just sounded kind of weird, and the picture really didn't look like it, so I don't think I brought the picture because it didn't look like what they said. Ghoul's blood. Ounce of vodka, ounce of blue curacao, ounce of pineapple juice, shaken, served up like this, and it's got a weird blue color to it. If you get some candy eyeballs or something like that to put on a pick and throw in there, you can have some fun with that and be very cool. This other one, I think I have a picture of this one too. So yeah, let's see if I can open this picture. They called this one the Ghostbuster. I kind of liked it because I thought it looked cool. If you can see kind of the effect they're going for. 1.5 ounces of peach schnapps, 1.5 ounces of Midori, shaken up into your martini glass like this. And I'm not sure how well you can see it on this picture, but if you just from there drop a couple drops of Irish cream, like Bailey's, into there, it floats down and it causes, shouldn't say it causes, it looks very weird. It looks like weird white things coming down through the drink that kind of resemble ghost. So green color, just like the slime in Ghostbusters, and a little white thing coming down that looked like ghost in there. I thought was a cool effect and a fun one. Now I'm gonna try this one. I'm gonna move some of the stuff out of the way. It's my back table. I'm gonna give this one a try. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. So candy corn martini. I saw this one and I thought it looked cool. So I wanted to give it a try and I wanted to see how it would turn out. I'm not going to chill this glass this time because I want to be able to see through it and hopefully get the effect I'm looking for. You know, when we do this one, shake my stuff out a little here. So if I go ahead and grab my mixing tin, I throw some ice in there. And they say to use whipped cream flavored vodka. So Pinnacle makes a whipped cream flavored vodka. I think 3 Olives may make one as well, but that's what we'd be looking for in this situation. So we're going to pretend that this is it, even though this is just water. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do 1.5 ounces of our whipped cream vodka in there like that. Then we're going to go ahead and do, I'm not looking at the one I'm trying to do. We're going to do some pineapple juice. Shake up my pineapple juice, and we're going to do 1 ounce of that and put that in there as well. Just like that. Now, we're going to take this, once again, pop it in, shake it up. Give it a nice shake, smile. Smile for everybody. Run a handshake here. I see my curtain coming apart over here. Don't look behind the curtains. Give it a nice shake. Get it nice and mixed up here. Pop that off. Pour that here into my martini glass. A little more shake, a little more come out. Now, we're going to see if we can get the effect we want here of dropping some grenadine down to the bottom like that. And coming back on the top with some whipped cream like that. So you kind of have the red on the bottom, the orange in the middle, the white on the top, so that it looks like candy corn, and that is a candy corn martini. Now, if you had some little candy corns to throw on top, that would be a nice little touch to it to give it that extra little something. But I didn't want to buy those because I think they're disgusting, and I don't want them in my house because I think they're nasty. But cool little colors. I might have done a little heavy on the grenadine. You might go a little lighter on that, but it worked out pretty good. The 3 colors there that you see, the orange, the red, and then the white from the whipped cream. And we have our candy corn martini there. This one I think was very cool too, and pretty easy to do if you just get some black cherry soda, which is you can get at most grocery stores, I would imagine. But if I just took, my pint glass, filled it to the top, put 1.5 ounces of cherry vodka in there, and a lot of different people make them. 3 Olives comes to mind. I don't know why today, but cherry vodka, fill it up with ice, cherry vodka, and then if I did half lemonade and half blackberry soda, makes kind of a nice, refreshing kind of drink. It's going to have a cool blackberry color. It's going to have a cool hue to it. That is the Vampire Bite, not to be confused with the Vampire Kiss. So I want to try 2 more here. And we're going to give one of these a go and see if it works out the way I want it to work out. But we're not going to be so sure till we try. So the first one I'm going to try, the Black Widow. Now, I like the sound of this, and I think this one's going to work out good. So I'm going to do the Black Widow here. And I take that back. I'm going to do this one first. Let's see if this one goes first. So let's try this one first. So this one's a Jackolantern. So I'm going to grab my mixing tin. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some ice in here. Now, to make our Jack-o'-lantern, we would use 1.5 ounces of brandy, of cognac if we had it. This is going to look close enough like brandy for us. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of that in there just like that. Boom. Then I want to add some Grand Marnier. And I'm just going to use this. It's all water anyway. The difference between Grand Marnier and other orange liqueurs is that Grand Marnier has cognac in it. So it's going to have a different flavor. It's going to be a little stronger. So I'll go ahead and did 1/2 ounce of that in there. And then we're going to do 1 ounce of OJ. So I'm going to do my ounce of OJ here. Yeah, just like that. Now we'll pop this in here. Give it a nice shake. Get it nice and mixed up. Pop that off. Go ahead and do this one in a pint glass. And refill to the top with ice. Drain that out in there like that. Oh yeah. And just like that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to top it off with ginger ale. I'm going to top it off. Just like that. Now, the reason I like this one and the reason I wanted to try this one, and I hope this is going to work out okay, is because of the garnish. So we have our jack-o'-lantern cocktail. I'm going to take a nice slice of orange here, just like this. And then I'm going to take a lime twist off the side, just like this. I'm going to take this lime twist and I'm going to roll it up a little bit, kind of fold it over there. Like this. I'm going to stick this lime twist right in the middle of the orange so that it sticks in there like that. And I'm going to set that right there in the drink. So now we have our jack-o'-lantern, and that is the pumpkin top garnish with the jack-o'-lantern made from a lime twist and an orange ring. Boom. So it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. We have our pumpkins down there. So that would be a great drink. Really easy to do, but a cool effect of the pumpkin being on top as you garnish it. So I think that one's awesome. Easy to do, easy to make in any bar, and bam, really easy to make that garnish and do it like that. So we're going to set you off to the side. We're going to do one more. So Black Widow, saw this one, liked this one, had to give it a try, had to have some fun with something like this. I'm going to go ahead and grab my rocks glass. And we're going to shake our tin out. We're going to do one more with you here, buddy. And I would be washing all of this equipment between drinks, but they're not real drinks and they're not going to anybody. So I'm not going to worry about it too much as I shake it out here. So come to do our Black Widow here. First thing I'm going to do is grab some blackberries. I'm going to throw about 5 blackberries. Let's go ahead and make it 6. I'm going to throw half a dozen blackberries down there in there like that. And then I'm going to grab my simple syrup. And I'm going to do an ounce of simple syrup in there. Oop, just like that. Perfect. I'm going to take my muddle and I'm going to give them a good mash. Now, I know that I'm going to double strain this one, so I'm really going to mash them up and kind of get all that juice and everything out of them, because I know that's what's left in here is not going to go into the final finished product cocktail when I'm done. So I'm going to mash them up pretty good and get it to where it's just a pulp. Just like that. That looks pretty good. Come back with a little bit of ice here. Ice. Back a little ice here like that. Then we're going to do an ounce and a half of vodka. 2, 4, 5, 6. There's an ounce and a half of vodka. Take the whole thing. We're going to shake it up. Give it a nice mix once again. Go ahead and get myself some fresh ice here in my bucket glass. More cubes. There we go. Just like that. And we're going to go ahead and grab our strainer, but we're going to double strain this one and get all the blackberries out of it. So, if you see, we're pouring the cocktail in there. We're going to trap all the blackberry pieces that have been mashed up here in my double strainer. All that out. Just like that. So we still just have a nice clear liquid cocktail. Go ahead and give it some blackberries to garnish here to go into it. Just like that. A couple straws, a couple napkins, and we have our Black Widow. Very cool color, excellent taste if you've got some fresh blackberries to put in there. Really easy to make, should be a crowd pleaser here for Halloween. So these were our Halloween drinks. Have a good time if you're going out. Be safe if you're working, and make sure everyone has a good time that's going out there. Are there any questions anybody has about anything I talked about today or anything else? All right, then thank you everybody very much for showing up. I do appreciate it. I don't know what next week's thank you. I don't know what next week's topic is going to be because I haven't thought as far ahead as that yet. Still working on Halloween stuff and cool Halloween tricks to bring out today. So thank you everybody for showing up. Have a great week. Please be safe if you're going out this weekend. Please be safe if you're driving, if you're working this weekend. And I will see you next Wednesday. Thank you, everyone.